ladies and gentlemen, you know, of course, that this is focal point where we discuss all trending issues, both political issues and every other issue that matters to you and to us, Abia state issues and national issues. And of course, you know that your anchor remains Emeni Kirebo, the anchor of this particular show today. This is always an interesting show. We brought in different guests from different aspects of our system. We brought in legislators, we brought in politically exposed individuals, we brought in different kind of people. And today we brought another person, a person that most people sometimes term controversial, and then sometimes people view him as being truthful, factual in his presentation, but today he's in the studio. And he happened to be, recently he has become also a party chairman, a full politician. Before he was more or less a media person, but now he has turned to become a full politician. I have in the studio the person of Obinna, that is the chairman of ADC, African Democratic Congress Party in Abia State. The chair.
You didn't put Akibeku. Well, okay, you're welcome. Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. And you know, I always say it gives me a lot of joy to sit before the Abia audience and entire audience of the world to talk about politics, especially in Abia State where we have irresponsible government in power. So it's my pleasure.
Thank you very much for coming to the studio. Of course, irresponsible government in quote is your view, which is acceptable as your view.
Yes, it's my view. It's also deep inside your heart. You should know that is the view of 99% of Abians.
Okay, so let's move straight to our interaction today. We have some questions that we would like to extract answers from you today. And the first on the table this hour is as a party chairman, how has it been for you as a party chairman, moving from media, from professional journalism as a veteran, moving to politics? How has it been?
Well, my brother, it's been very, very challenging. Let me use that word. But first, the situation in Abia State is critical. That any senator who wants a change, who wants to see a move in Abia State, who wants to see things, take shape in Abia State, should delve into politics. Like I say, there's a difference between professional politicians and professionals in politics. The professional politicians are those without business address, those who, faith brought to us in Abia State. People who have taken politics as their means of livelihood. People who could not afford 20,000 naira in their bank account before they, found their way in politics and, turned to billionaires and philanthropists overnight. But people who see public office as an open sesame, to public funds. But like I said before, I am not a professional politician. I am a professional in politics. So it simply means that I am in politics to see how we can stop the influx of, mediocre in government in Abia State. So that is why I'm in politics, to galvanize the people, to give them the sense of belonging, to make them understand that democracy is not a cause. Because the way PDP government has, managed the affairs of Abia politics, Abia democracy or politics or government, in the past 23 years, it makes it look as if democracy is a cause. It is not a cause. We want our people to enjoy the dividends of democracy, and that is why we've been at the man decided to jump into the ring. And I'm here now. I'm not going to throw in the towel.
Well, it's nice to see you begin to talk like a politician one way or the other. But that's by the way. Let's look into the next question also that we have for you today. Of course, there are views and rumors of people, especially people in the ruling party and some in the opposition party, and they are seeing they are ruling out your party, ADC, which are a chairman, and they are ruling out as though there is nothing the party can do, there's nothing can offer special. What is your take on these kind of assertions?
Well, let me just quickly promote the PDP by answering them. I've always maintained that PDP shouldn't even form part of our discussion in politics in Abia State, because when you discuss a failure, you simply give the failure room to be heard. For me, PDP government shouldn't even, if they have any atom of shame in them, they shouldn't even be talking about 2023 and who they want to present as candidates to govern the state, because PDP has become a cancerous cell. There's a solution. A solution to this cancerous cell is ADC. ADC has come to stay in Abia State. ADC did not, come to do things the way the People Democratic Party has done in the last 24 years. We came to establish an Abia that will be pride of everybody. Of course, they know there is something about the ADC. That is why the rumor. But the question is, outside the ADC, we have parties like PRP, we have SDP. I don't know if they are delisted now. We have YPP. So why are they not talking about those parties? Why is it the ADC? Because they know that a man who has good governance as one of his priority in other states is the chairman. ADC become popular and become a problem to the PDP today, become a topic of discussion for the PDP today, because a starting Obinna, the man whose ideology is this good governance, has come to be the party chairman. Besides, they know that they have a party chairman who love the masses. They know they have a party chairman who the masses also love.
That is you.
Yes. The PDP knows that they have a party chairman who they try to cocoon. They try to suffocate me. They try to seize my voice. Was it not in Abia State that I was arrested and detained in prison for championing good governance? So they know that the man who is likely to present the next governor of Abia State has come to take over. Simple. We have, before the arrival of ADC in Abia State, we have party chairmen who compromised their party for the PDP.
That's an allegation.
I don't.
But then do you have proofs on for that?
The person go to court, because I'm going to mention them now. So there's
no need to mention.
Okay.
You can just go on with your allegations.
So don't call it allegation. I don't allege. I'm a professional journalist.
I know you are, but then this is also a platform.
Yes. So now they have succeeded in destroying all the political parties in the state. Abia is nowhere now. The
last time I checked, Abia are having new entries and people are really coming to the party. So saying that nowhere may not be completely correct.
Yeah, Abia also had people before Lesotho made an entrance there and turned the party to something else. So it's not about people, it's about the quality people, those who have something different to offer. That's what I'm saying. So we have APC. You know what is happening to APC right now? So I don't want to talk about the APC. Whether APC is going to survive these the current crisis is something we don't know. So now we are talking about the ADC, the third force. Now,
you have assumed ADC have assumed the position of the third force.
No, see, because we've had PDP have been a force, number one force.
Yes.
The APC came as the second force.
Yes.
So when I say the third force, it simply means that we are here now as a party to reckon with.
Are you going to value yourself more than Abia? Because if you have to be the fourth force.
If you begin to compare ADC to Abia, you are trying to disrespect the ADC. You're trying to disrespect the ADC in the sense that I'm not trying to take away anything from the Abia. The reason why people started talking about Abia was because Chukwu Maso don't want in Anambra State. Now the terrain are different entirely. You know that all we're talking about is Abia State. Now, what do we want in Abia State? We want a person who will not sabotage the effort of the masses. We want a party who will work in tandem with aspirations, our collective aspiration as a people. We want a party who will not go tomorrow and conspire with the ruling party that have destroyed us for a very long time, collect money from them and sell the party to the PDP, and by so doing, sabotage the effort of the masses. If you remember what happened in 2015 when Lesotho contest election on the Abia won about 10 or 11 House of Assembly seats. Now what happened? Instead of sitting there and do the job that we expected of them, they decamped to the PDP. So the PDP we struggled to remove in 2015 came back to hold the ground again. All of them decamped to the PDP. So in the House of Assembly, how many Abia members do you have in the House of Assembly? None. except an APC that produced Chijoke. I think
one Abia member who is the cheater, Obinna cheater.
Obinna cheater, yes, okay, that's Abia member. So, and you know his face already, the turbulence has gone through, being an opposition member, and the Abia party has not supported him.
Okay, let's move from there. I don't want to dwell so much in discussing other parties. We want to discuss ADC before we move into other issues. Now, what does ADC stand for? What do you want Abians to know ADC for? What should Abians be expecting from ADC? These are very short questions.
3. I love these questions. Let me quickly say that ADC is a political party, but our doings are not that of a political party. ADC came to Abia State as a mass movement. So every Abian or everybody who is listening to me right now should hear this, that we are not just a political party. We came to do something different. And what is that thing? We want to galvanize the people. We want to move Abians in mass. It's going to be a mass movement. It's going to be a party for the whole Abians. We don't have a governor anywhere. We don't have to impose any candidate on other people or the electorate. We will ensure that the wishes, the minds of the electorate, are our own mind too. Fall in line with our own plans. It is not going to be business as usual in the ADC. ADC is different from other political party because we believe in good governance. Of course, you know that I'm still the convener for Abians, for good governance. I'm still the convener of that movement. So we represent good governance. That simply means under the watch of ADC, no pensioner will go to bed with an empty stomach. Under the leadership of the ADC, no civil servant will go home without his salary at the end of the month. Unlike the PDP government that owed 32 months salary areas and begin to tell you about the core civil servants and the non-core civil servants. When you employ all of them, we are going to present to Abians a government that will take care of their welfare. A government that they will be part of. We're not going to present a governor that will maybe back from government as Omaya to Ohofia or Arochukwu or Aba or Umunochi or Isalangwa South or not. We are going to present a governor that will sit in the seat of Painomaya here and be the governor of the people. A governor who will share in our own pains, enjoyment, and the rest of it. So we are going to present to Abians a party that has never seen before. ADC represents good governance, the people's wishes. We are going to go into an election and present the candidate that the people wanted. And when they are voted, the party will ensure that they did not derail. So ADC is a party for Abians. The Abians on the street are our godfathers. They are our godmothers. They are our godsons, godbrothers, and godsisters. We don't have anybody, influencing the party right now. That I can assure you. I left the party open for people with good conscience, people with character, people with money, but not money bags from politics. People those that probably are rejected from another party. We want people who share our dreams as a people. That is what ADC stands for.
Okay, we want to thank you for being there with us, and we know you're going to continue being there with us. This is Focal Point, where we discuss every issue, political issue, and every issue that's controversial. We talk on this program, and today we have on this show today the chairman, the state chairman of African Democratic Congress, the person of Comrade Obinna, of course, a media veteran and a very experienced one for that matter. We are still discussing. Remember, you can call to the studio. The number to call will be made public on the screen. You can call to the studio and ask any question you want to ask. We are still in the studio and the program is still on. We are still together. So, Obinna, during this your last discussion, these few statements you made before you ended just few seconds ago, you talked about that your party will present a governor that will administer the state from the seat of power.
Yes.
Is there any issue with somebody with like the governor who is the first governor who is almost every often in Abia?
What is he doing in Abia? A governor who respects the people, who respects the constitution, should sit at the government house to pioneer the affairs of the state.
That is
not a government house. What you have in Abia is not a government house. It's a government. It's a lodge. That's Abia House.
But it's all in Abia.
No, Emenike, don't get this silly. So our people must know the truth. The reason why OKC also lost concentration is because he left the seat of power in Omoahia. Have you gone to government as officers? Sometimes they don't even have money to buy this to power the place. You see people, the workers coming out to sit outside. When the governor is not there, a governor's presence should still fear responsibility. In the hearts and minds of the civil servant working in the government house. Once you move out of that place, things, people begin to go arbitrary. That is why when a governor if a governor made a statement now, 700 aides from nowhere will begin to respond on behalf of the governor. That is when you go to government house, the only people that organize in that government house just are the police officers at the gate of the government house. When you get in there, everything becomes ogamoga. The truth of the matter is this: any government that respects the mandate of the people given to him should know that the constitution states that the governor or even a president should, follow the affairs of the state or the country in a government house. Why is Buhari not in the water? Why is Rochas Okocha not in our law when he was governor? Or why is Wike not in his village?
There is no law like that.
Well, yes, there is law. That's our government house. It's in the constitution. So if it's not important, in fact we should go in our house.
I'm not aware of that part of the law.
Okay,
so make a research on that.
You have to make a research on it. The seat of power.
Okay, let's move to another very critical question which we also have, which is still on your party. At the moment now, there are a lot of arguments as regards Charter of Equity, zoning of power, governorship, and people have argued that that particular arrangement is for the PDP. Some political stakeholders in other parties have said no, that's not their own arrangement. So I want to ask, as the chairman of ADC in Abia State, your party structure, are you going to recognize Abia Charter of Equity? Are you going to zone the gubernatorial position? What exactly is the plan of your party as regards this?
This question is just getting me very angry right now.
Don't be angry. Let us go.
Now, let me tell you the truth. Okay. In the first place,
yes,
there is nothing like Abia Charter of Equity. Abia Charter of Equity was a good document, by our founding fathers. While that was done in 1981. The purpose of our Charter of Equity is to prepare a state, a would-be state, Abia State. That document was never ever recognized or signed into law by the State House of Assembly at any given time. So discussing an illegal Charter of Equity is an even insult to our collective, psyche as a people. It gets me angry. But sometimes I look at Abia youth and I begin to wonder whether the school fees that parents paid was in vain. Let me tell you. The PDP has a zoning arrangement, and that zoning arrangement was not even effective until Theodoji became the governor of Abia State. Probably decided to hand over to Ngwaman because of what John Obinna said to actualize his aspiration that time of going to the Senate. That was what it wasn't from me. It was one of the members of the PDP that said that. Whether it's true or false, it's not my business. But the truth of the matter is this. The Charter of Equity, there's something like old Bende zone and old Abba zone. This old thing started from the old Imo state. Everywhere in the country where you have this old zone and they were all represented by the senator. Now today, do we have any senator representing old Bende? No. Do you have any senator representing old Abba? No. What we have is senatorial districts. Senatorial districts. And if you're talking about zoning in the first way, it shouldn't be based on Charter of Equity. If a democracy entails equity. So if a party comes and say we're going to hand over to a man from Abia North, from Abia North let us shift it to Abia Central, from Abia Central let us shift it to Abia South. It is just a party arrangement, and we commend it. It is not binding to the rest of Abia and even the masses, and that is the problem we have today. Because excuse me, if you look at that Abia Charter of Equity, that Charter of Equity states that a governor, probably if the governor is going to hold Bende then, that the old Bende people should be allowed to choose their candidates. But what do we have? We have governors who go and bring their lekis. As at the time Ojikalu brought Theodoji was in prison. Imoya people did not choose Theodoji to become their, our Abia Central people did not choose Theodoji to become their governor. When Theodoji choose Ipazu, in fact, if you had made this in that time, an election asked you to vote, I'm sure Ipazu would even make number 20. So these people come to choose those who defend their interests. And that their service is discussing something that has been a problem to us in the state.
The issue, the question is, will your party, what will your party do? Will your party, okay, if you don't recognize charter of equity, will your party zone gubernatorial position?
Like I told you, let us discuss ADC now. Yes. Now, but in discussing ADC, I want to ensure that we don't even bring this zoning as a discussion.
What is the position of
the position of our party is this: good governance. ADC Abia State is going to present a governor for the people. It doesn't matter where the governor comes from. The governor must be a technocrat, a man who has held several positions, who is tested, not the kind of tested and trusted in Abia State. He's going to be the man that a carpenter or a shoemaker who becomes a House of Assembly member today. The next day say honorable leader, tested and trusted. With our funds, we are not going to do that. ADC is going to present a candidate that is for the people.
Okay.
A candidate who can turn things around, because you can see what the zoning has done to us. Instead of the zoning, developing Abia State, we have a zoning that has made people billionaires. So sorry, even this thing we're talking about equity. Power is going to burn off. The same people, these are the same people that have eaten the state dry. The same people are doing competition with their houses. Oh, what you call has built a big house now. As the next God of harvest, I'm going to build a big house that's going to be bigger than that of what you call, and my bank account is going to be bigger, investment is going to be bigger, and now okay, has done his own. I'm going to build. We are going near. You have to. We are going to present a governor and candidates who will carry the light of Abia State and the wish of our forefathers.
Let's look into another very important issue here, which is very important for us. You have been championing this renewal of Abia, the change of Abia, positive change. You've been championing both political renewal, getting the right people into power. But if at the end of the day you now have all these same people running back to your party for ticket, how are you going to go about that? How are you going to filter them? How are you going to work around that?
That is all about structure. And the structures we are talking about here are human beings.
Because at the end of the day, they will lose ticket one place, they run back to your party. And these may be the same people that you have categorized. How will you go about that?
We know the enemies of Abia. Obinna the normal knows the enemies of the Abia.
So will you deny them ticket?
If they let them bring their 500 billion naira to ADC, they will not get a ticket. I'm saying it on air. We know the enemies of Abia. So, for example, if you love Abia and you want to be part of the system, you shouldn't wait to be denied ticket somewhere like PDP. And I don't want to mention the enemies of Abia. I have their list. When I even count their names and begin to mention them, you here will not even disagree with me. That is the truth. So we know the enemies of Abia. We're not going to call them here.
Okay, we are still in the studio with the chairman of ADC in understates, Comrade Obinna. We've been discussing a lot about his party. Now, we want to discuss other issues also, which are actually also trending. Now, as an opposition leader, of course, you are an opposition leader to the chairman of ADC in understates. If you are to assess this present administration, which is going towards winding down now, because of course you can assess people towards the time they're winding down without being negative. Can you actually give an insight what you think about this government? Are there any things that this government have done that you can say yes, they have done well here, but yeah, they have not done well? I need an objective view.
Dominique,
yes, I'm listening.
The gospel truth is that Azo's government is a disaster.
Because at the time you were very friendly, you wrote some articles about
hold on, you asked me a question. If you want me to answer, I will begin to answer. The Azo administration, without being disrespectful to the governor himself, the government, that administration is a disaster that shouldn't have happened. In fact, I want you to hold on. You asked a question. If I was using one grammar to qualify, I would say that it's been an horribilis.
Break it down, please.
Let us face the reality.
Okay, go on.
The reason I will always say that Azo government failed Abians is simple, because I want to look at our revenue. I have said this before and I want to say it again. When the last administration left, they did not leave 1 naira in government house for Azo to operate with. The old 6 months salary areas. So Okezi has inherited 6 months salary arrears, no money, and he also inherited 39 billion naira. The past administration of Senator George, he left a debt of 39 billion naira for Okezi administration. From 2015 June to December 2020, December 31st, 2020, Okezi government has increased that debt from 39 billion to 128.8 billion naira. In other words, his administration borrowed additional 89.2 billion naira. Now, before I now talk about the revenues, can you traverse the state of Abia and tell us where you can see a genuine project of 1 billion naira ongoing in this state? What do you borrow the 89 naira to do?
Can't you see the flyover?
I'm coming.
The interchange.
Don't make me forget what I'm saying.
No, you said that it will traverse Abia. Is there no can say?
Yes,
I pointed one to you.
I will answer you. I will answer, but I don't want to. Don't break the transmission now.
No, it's good for me to always.
I will remember now. Now, within that period, Okezi government has received 528 billion naira in revenues. Now, if you add
from the FAC,
not only FAC, JAG, IGR, what do you have? Bailouts and Paris law refund. We have made 525 billion naira from June 2015 to December 31st, 2020. I'm not talking about 2022 and 2022 now. When you add this money to the money they borrow, that gives you 614.2 billion naira. That's what the state government borrowed. Have gotten so far. At that same period, I wrote something down here. At that same period, I think we had a budget. We made a budget, a total budget of 587.1 billion from 2016 to 2020. Now, when you look at the revenue we got, which is 525 billion naira, it is enough to fund these budgets. But in that budget, something amazed me in this budget. In this budget, to have a recorded expenditure of 308.8 billion naira, while we have a capital expenditure of 278.3 billion naira. What simply means that Abia state government, spend 52.6% of the budget on recorded expenditure and 47.4% on capital expenditure. What is recorded expenditure? The money we eat to make expenses, buy things.
But salaries also.
Yes, include. Then the capital expenditure is the money that you use to develop infrastructure. Now, the money that they say they use to develop infrastructure, which is the capital expenditure, is just 278.3 billion naira for capital expenditure. Now, the question which is 47.24%, if you look at it statistically. Now, the question is this: what did you do with these funds? Except pouring asphalt 5 mm on some roads. The government started on a very bad note in the first place. When they came into power, they pour asphalt on roads. Now Owalaka Road, Omowaya Road, Enugu Road, Awolowo Street, Niger Road. They pour asphalt there. And adding to the then chief secretary came out to get interview, to Vanguard newspaper and said that Okezi Caterpillar Revolution under 100 days in office has built 76 roads. It is a lie. Now, I said this. They talk about capital. We talk about the flyover for crying out loud. The Soma flyover is the shortest flyover in Nigeria.
No, that's not the point which I brought in. You say that is there any 1 billion naira project?
I am telling you, that project in Rivers State and Ebonyi State, we have seen the governor do a longer project, flyover with 1.2 billion. So that shortest flyover should cost about 900 billion naira. I am just 900 billion naira. It's about 7.something billion naira. So the question is why are we doing like this? We've talked about Caterpillar Revolution. All the Caterpillar Revolution ended in nothing. From there, they jumped to kinetic Abia.
Before we go there, you see, I'm aware that you're the opposition leader.
Yes.
I'm aware also that most times opposition leaders are positioned in a way to criticize government.
Yeah.
But I want you to be an Abia. I want you to look at Abia State and look at the government and administration of government as a partner. Is there nothing you can see and say that this government have done this, they have done well here? They have done this, they have not done badly here. You cannot sum them up and say they have been disastrous without achieving anything.
Let me ask you, you're a journalist. Probably I don't know, you have to tell me. Before I became a party leader, I am a journalist. Now I have told you the amount of the state government had made in just 5.5 years. We are owing 32 months salaries. We borrowed, our debt profile has increased to 128.8 billion naira. Our revenue within that period was 525 billion naira. We have this money, about 614 billion naira with the government. And you are telling me we are owing we've not paid pensioners in the last 32 months? We've not paid civil servants. Some of them are owed 20 months salary areas. Some of them are owed 30 months
call or the on-call.
I don't know what this is. This is the first time I'm hearing what call and on call. You know, probably they have to come and explain this to us. I'm telling you that this is a government of deceit and falsehood. Now, I will only praise this government. Over time, you will see them snap upper road from different angles and post it. Okay, past government, congratulations for doing a road that is not up to 2 kilometers. Congratulations for doing it. But the question is this: if you want to look at the revenue in our position compared to what this administration has done, you will score them 0. Ebonyi State, I know that Abia State FAC and JAC allocations are about 2.5 billion higher than that Ebonyi State. We are talking about Omahi doing the 17th flyover and roads. I discussed with a man from Okoro. The man told me that it is a small place of Okoro. The man said that they regretted not being part of Ebonyi State. This is a problem. Now the question is how much is David Omahi made so far? How much has he made so far to be able to do that thing? Don't forget that Mbakwe, who was the first governor of the Imo State, built the whole of Imo State you are seeing today, the whole of Abia State you are seeing today, and part of Ebonyi. They constructed the whole roads these people are driving on now under the space of 3.5 years. From 1979 to 1983, 3.5 years he did those things because the government took over and the military took over administration. So based on that, I will be doing the service to my ancestors, to other foundations like Opera, who labor so much to brought the state like others before us. I will do them the service to give this government that has become a disaster a credit. Now the question is when you go to exam hall, how do you start? They will tell you that the score is 60%, for example. During an exam you have exact test and assignment will take 40%, and exam you go into exam with 60%. Now you are expected to score a certain mark for you to either make A, B, C, D, E, and the rest. Now, if you ask me to score Kizibas from 1 to 0, yes, from the phone so far that I know that we have collected in other state, honestly, he will make E. I will be very, very objective to score this administration E. David Umahi does not need to hire a one man to come and lie. Okay, I'm coming.
Let's go. Let us move to another issue that is also very critical. We are still discussing on that same community government, and of course, recently, now I want to tap into your profession as a veteran in the media profession. So there's this Rebuilder 365, which has been trending, which due to people like you who have said that the government have not done anything, have not done well. You said the government have not done well. So the government have decided to launch a PR project where they will unveil one project each day of what government principals have done for 365 days in a year. As a media professional, what is your take on that project if you have to evaluate it?
Well, like I said, there's no project anywhere. What we have is
on this Rebuilder.
On the nomenclature. Let me tell you. You know the new Commission of Information. You know what it stands for. If I want to talk about this project, I will go back to history. There's no time now.
No, we can't talk about it.
It's not percent about the project. I didn't listen to anything. I said the Commission of Information. Mm-hmm. You know, Biribida 365 or 360, I don't know what it means. You say you are going to present one project that the governor has done. Each day 365 days. That's we are waiting. You see, you have watched on the Obinna Road. We've seen what they brought. First Road. Mm-hmm. Abia Road.
You don't go First Road.
No, you will still bring it now. First Road, MCC Road. I saw Ititiama Road. Let me say something today. The Abiriba from Abiriba Junction to Ititiama, Mboro Park. It's just 6 kilometers. That contract was awarded to a company. I've mentioned that company name before. The job was done. In fact, the job was done with about 2.6 billion naira. Go to that place now. The day Okezipas went to commission that place, the part of that road, cave in after that. You can go to Mboro. It's not far from here. The Empire Road, I'm sure they are going to also bring it out. When you get to that place, you will see that you see the quality of the road. That is going to prove that the last administration also did in our road, in Kata Road, that leads to Kumeana Meke, the ones that leads to Okota, and you have the rest of it. It's so many kilometers. I'm just want to be saying, I'm so bad now. I'm not even angry. I feel like crying. We are deceiving ourselves in this other state. And the high time we realize the damage you are doing to our generation and our generation to come, the better for all of us. I've always said that governance is all about the people's welfare. Abia State, Abia State has no business, or people from Abia State have no business with extreme poverty. They have no business with extreme poverty. All we are asking from this irresponsible government is just good road. I want to believe that if there were good roads in Aba environs and no more here, people will not even remember where government house is. Now the question is this: during the time of Zimbabwe, did you see government ever give out empowerment program? They will not, because the atmosphere was convivial, the environment was conducive for people to do business and thrive. The reason you see them give people keke, bag of rice, 10 kg bag of rice, 1 kilo bag of rice, lapa, okada, what have you, is because it's a sign of failure. They failed the masses. There is no place in this world that a serious government feed the people. Rather, the people work and pay the government, because when you pay your tax, you are supporting the government to improve. But in this case, the reverse is the case. People come and they are so shameless that they come to Facebook to display this and say, we are giving our people in Toreka, we are giving them bag of rice. So it's an insult to the Abians. The government know in their heart that they have disappointed the masses. They know that they have impoverished them. That's why I keep saying that this government represents debt. And the earlier Abians realize it, the better for all of us. Now, let me tell you something that you don't know. This government hates its citizens so much that they can do anything. Last year, December, you heard them saying on radio that they paid 1 year's salary. They will pay 1 year's salary. Let me tell you the truth. In 2019, I want to use HMD, for example. The government owed them in 2019, they were not paying salaries. When they want to pay them, government called them and say, we are going to pay you your only basic salary. We are not going to do your add-ons. We are going to remove them. That's the consequences is that a man who receives 500,000 naira per annum end up getting 250,000 naira. You stole from them. You did not improve their lives. The only reason they collected that money is because they have been bossed to the corner. They don't have any option, because they've been told that if you don't want to collect it, then leave it. There was no time they came to radio to tell us that this is what they did. But they were saying that we have paid them 1 year's salary. You did not pay them 1 year's salary. Look at the way, in fact, when I came to this time, I was looking very fresh. Look at me now.
Is it out of the frustration of the government?
Yes, now, because the truth of it is I'm suffering. You know why? Because even someone who's serving, I don't know, I said, no, please, I need your help. If I have helped so much, that even if I don't have to help again, someone will say, look at that man. So even the burden of the people now is so much on me that I don't even know where to start. And somebody whose parents, or let's say who stole so much in government will hide the money and come and say, I'm giving you kekeo, I'm giving you buses. Let me ask you a question. Will you give a man who has no money to feed himself vehicle? If you dash a vehicle to a man who has no money to feed himself, how can he service a vehicle?
Let's move to, we are going towards the end of this interaction, and then at this point now, I want you as a party to advise Abians. 2020 is by the corner. And there's this issue of voter apathy. There's this issue of even registration. People seem to be coming out very well to register. What is your take on that? I want your advice.
Honestly, I want to really use this opportunity to tell Abians to go and get their PVCs. Because the only way you can end this core government is by using our vote to chase them away. I know that Abians won't change. Even the ruling party knows that their time the time is just against them. What happened in 2015 is going to happen now. In fact, it's going to be more than what happened in 2015. They know. So I'm begging Abians to go, whatever you are doing, abandon it now. Go and get your PVC. Get it ready. We are not going to just come out because we want to vote. We are going to, it's going to be a mass movement. When we vote, remain and ensure that your vote is counted. We are waiting for Buhari to sign the electoral bill into law. And once that becomes an act, then our vote will surely count. Now, no, there won't be any room for somebody, one local government or TC chairman to run to his house, sitting room, and complete 500, this thing, what do you call it again? 500 ballot papers and points into the ballot box. They know, PDP government know that they have been stealing our mandate. We never voted for them. I know that time we voted for PDP. They know. That is why they don't have respect for us. And again, there's a woman in Anambra elections who was given 5,000 naira by the APC government to vote. The woman, before they came out, the woman rejected their money. Anambra state governor saw the clips and gave the woman 1 million naira. So I want to use this medium to tell Abians, once they come with their money, it is your money. Because from what you are owing right now, every Abia, you are owing 62,000 naira, 69,000 naira. I'm owing 69,000 as Raja man. So what they are going to give you in that, to vote for them on that day is part of your money that they have stolen from you, and that is the truth. Stolen. No, I didn't say they hid it. They stole our money, and that is the truth. I can prove it anywhere. If they say I didn't steal them, I can prove it now.
On the very final note, do you see your party taking over the Abia State Government House?
Let me tell you.
You're not singing. You're not a singer too.
Let me tell you. Let me sing it. Let me tell you. I'm saying it again for the first time on radio. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. The PDP should just quietly prepare their handover notes. The ADC will take over government by May 29, 2023. And that is a promise by the grace of God, because we didn't come to do politics. It is a mass movement that we are going to do under the ADC, because you need a political party to drive the actions or the objective. So the ADC is just that tool that Abias will use to arrive to their promised land. Because the truth of the matter is that if it's not the ADC, then who?
Okay, we want to thank you so much for coming to our show today. We deeply appreciate this interaction. Of course, we want to thank Abians and Nigerians for listening to us for the past 40 minutes or thereabout, discussing issues as regards the state, ADC as a party, and other trending issues. We thank you so much. My name remains MNG Robo. And thank you, Donna.
Today, before I don't finish, I didn't talk about Ayudele. Anyway, it's my pleasure to be here, MNK. You know, I always come, you know.
Thank you.
I always come. Tell Abians that the Messiah has come through the ADC. ADC is that party that is going to take us to our promised land. ADC is that party that is going to chase the enemies of Abias away. We are going to enjoy our democracy through the ADC in Jesus' mighty name.
Thank you. Amen. And God bless. Thank you.